And he wasn't the kind of guy that, come on, let's have dinner. He wasn't that kind of guy.
The Rat Pack remains one of the most legendary groups in entertainment history. More than just a circle of close friends, they were a collection of American performers whose influence transformed music, film, television, and live entertainment for an entire generation. The lineup most people remember included Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, and Joey Bishop. Long before that famous version took center stage, the original Rat Pack revolved around Hollywood icon Humphrey Bogart and included frequent guests such as Errol Flynn, Robert Mitchum, Nat King Cole, and Tony Curtis. But it was the glamorous 1960s Rat Pack that became a cultural phenomenon, creating a legacy that still fascinates audiences today.
But
Frank loved him?
tremendously, tremendously.
Although every member of the Rat Pack has now passed away, their stories continue to live on through unforgettable songs, classic films, and timeless performances. Their careers were filled with remarkable triumphs, personal struggles, lifelong friendships, and heartbreaking losses. So how did each member of the Rat Pack spend their life? What made them become entertainment legends? And what were the circumstances surrounding their deaths? Let's take a closer look at the extraordinary lives and final chapters of these unforgettable stars. Frank Sinatra. Francis Albert Sinatra was born on December 12, 1915 in Hoboken, New Jersey, to two hard-working Italian immigrants. Like many first-generation American families of the time, the Sinatras lived modestly, but their home was rich with culture, tradition, and a deep appreciation for music. From an early age, Frank became captivated by the voices of the era's biggest stars. He admired performers like Bob Eberly, Bing Crosby, Gene Austin, and Russ Columbo.
Gentleman that didn't hang out, played his golf, went home, did his shows. I did many Dean Martin shows.
Carefully listening to their records and studying every note they sang. Music quickly became more than just a hobby. It became an obsession. Everything changed when Frank turned 15. His uncle Domenico gave him a ukulele, a simple gift that would unknowingly shape entertainment history. Frank began teaching himself to play while singing at family gatherings and neighborhood events. Friends and relatives were immediately impressed by the confidence and emotion in his voice. Even as a teenager, it was clear he possessed something special. Without any formal training, Sinatra continued developing his talent throughout the 1930s, performing with several bands before finally earning his big break. By the early 1940s, he had become one of America's biggest singing sensations, attracting devoted fans across the country. During the following decade, Hollywood came calling. His smooth voice, undeniable charisma, and effortless charm helped him transition into acting, where he quickly became one of the industry's biggest stars. Those same qualities would eventually make him the natural leader of the Rat Pack.
And Dean didn't like the limelight, you know. He really didn't like the limelight.
Frank Sinatra passed away on May 14, 1998 in Los Angeles after suffering 2 heart attacks. His remarkable career stretched across 6 decades, leaving behind an unmatched legacy in both music and film that continues to inspire generations of entertainers. Before we continue exploring the lives and deaths of the remaining Rat Pack members, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for more fascinating stories from Hollywood's golden age. Dean Martin. Known around the world as the King of Cool, Dean Martin built a career that rivaled even Frank Sinatra's. Born on June 7, 1917, in Steubenville, Ohio, Dean's road to fame was anything but glamorous. Before stepping onto a stage, he worked a variety of demanding jobs, including bootlegging during Prohibition, laboring in a steel mill, dealing cards as a casino croupier, and even competing as a welterweight boxer. Eventually, music captured his attention. Blessed with a naturally smooth voice and an effortless stage presence, Dean began performing with local bands before establishing himself as a successful solo singer.
You like to play
All the
golf?
great success with Jerry Lewis and all. He
We
wanted
just
His life changed forever during the 1940s when he teamed up with comedian Jerry Lewis. Together, they became one of the most successful comedy duos in entertainment history, selling out theaters and becoming major stars on radio, television, and film. Before long, Dean Martin had firmly established himself as one of Hollywood's most beloved entertainers, setting the stage for his future as one of the Rat Pack's most iconic members. By the 1950s, Dean Martin had become one of the biggest stars in American entertainment. His effortless charm, smooth singing voice, and relaxed sense of humor made him a favorite with audiences across the country. Whether he was appearing in blockbuster films, headlining sold-out concerts, or welcoming celebrity guests on The Dean Martin Show, he seemed to make success look effortless. It was during this golden period that Dean formed a close friendship with Frank Sinatra. The two stars shared a similar love for music, nightlife, and performing, and before long they were joined by Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, and Joey Bishop. Together, they became the legendary Rat Pack, dominating Las Vegas, Hollywood, and television throughout the 1960s while creating one of the most iconic entertainment groups in American history. Sadly, Dean's final years were marked by declining health.
one of them.
And Dean would be there eating alone. And you were hesitant to go over and say hello. This was after his son died, and he was very much
That's
into
right.
his son.
As soon as
In 1993, he was diagnosed with lung cancer, a devastating blow that forced him away from the spotlight he had occupied for decades. 2 years later, he quietly retired from public life. On Christmas Day in 1995, Dean Martin passed away at the age of 78 from acute respiratory failure caused by emphysema. The world lost one of its coolest entertainers, but his music, films, and unforgettable personality continue to captivate audiences around the world. Sammy Davis Jr. If there was ever a performer who truly earned the title of pioneer, it was Sammy Davis Jr. Born on December 8, 1925 in New York City, Sammy entered show business almost before he could read. At just 3 years old, he was already performing in vaudeville alongside his father, dazzling audiences with remarkable confidence and natural talent. His childhood was spent on stage instead of in a traditional classroom, giving him years of experience before most entertainers ever landed their first professional job. After serving in the United States Army during the Second World War, Sammy returned to performing with even greater determination.
And Sammy, did you know Sammy well?
yes, but not on a one-on-one basis. We didn't hang out, but he knew me very well, and I knew him very well.
He quickly established himself as a nightclub sensation, combining singing, dancing, comedy, impressions, and acting into performances unlike anything audiences had seen before. Hollywood soon took notice. During the 1950s, Sammy became a major film and television star while breaking down racial barriers that had limited opportunities for black performers for decades. Rather than accepting stereotypical roles, he insisted on being treated as a serious entertainer, helping pave the way for future generations of actors and musicians. His friendship with Frank Sinatra eventually brought him into the Rat Pack, where his incredible versatility perfectly complemented the personalities of the other members.
Well, I was in a way. I was
know
always
you were.
in the
That's what I
steam
meant.
room. They called me, Frank gave me a bathroom called the Rhino. With a,
Together, they starred in classics such as Ocean's 11, Sergeant's 3, and Robin and the Seven Hoods, becoming symbols of style, confidence, and unmatched stage chemistry. In the late 1980s, Sammy battled throat cancer, a heartbreaking diagnosis for a man whose voice had inspired millions. He passed away on May 16, 1990, at the age of 64 due to complications from the disease. Although his life ended far too soon, Sammy Davis Jr. remains one of America's greatest entertainers and one of the most important trailblazers in entertainment history. Peter Lawford. Peter Lawford was born Peter Aylen on September 7, 1923, in London, England. Raised in a family connected to the British aristocracy, he spent much of his childhood traveling throughout Europe before eventually arriving in the United States with his family during the late 1930s. When the Second World War erupted, the family's finances became trapped overseas, forcing Peter to find work simply to support himself.
I'll tell you something, baby. If this don't straighten my hair, nothing will.
Like many future Hollywood stars, he started at the very bottom, taking odd jobs while searching for an opportunity to break into the movie business. His persistence eventually paid off. Beginning as an extra, Peter steadily worked his way into leading roles, earning widespread attention with the 1945 film Son of Lassie. Throughout the 1940s and 1950s, he became one of MGM's dependable leading men, appearing in successful films such as My Brother Talks to Horses, It Happened in Brooklyn alongside Frank Sinatra, Good News, Royal Wedding, You for Me, and Rogue's March. Television also became an important part of his career. Peter appeared in popular series including Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Jane Wyman Presents the Fireside Theater, Screen Directors Playhouse, and Playhouse 90, further cementing his place as one of Hollywood's most recognizable actors. In 1959, Frank Sinatra personally invited Peter to join the Rat Pack, a decision that placed him alongside some of the biggest entertainers of the era. He appeared with the group in Ocean's 11 and became an essential part of their legendary Las Vegas performances and Hollywood image. Peter Lawford passed away on Christmas Eve in 1984 at his home in Los Angeles after suffering cardiac arrest. He was 61 years old, leaving behind a career that stretched across both classic cinema and television. Joey Bishop.
I got an idea. I'd like to thank the NAACP for this wonderful trophy. Put me down!
Joseph Gottlieb, better known to audiences as Joey Bishop, was born on February 3, 1918, in the Bronx, New York. Following his military service during the Second World War, Joey discovered that his quick wit and natural comedic timing made him perfectly suited for stand-up comedy. It was during these early performances that he adopted the stage name that would remain with him for the rest of his life. His sharp humor soon earned him appearances on some of America's biggest television programs, including The Ed Sullivan Show, The Dinah Shore Chevy Show, The Tonight Show with Jack Paar, and later, The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. His popularity continued to grow until he landed his own successful sitcom, The Joey Bishop Show, during the early 1960s. Hollywood quickly embraced Joey's easygoing personality, leading to roles in Ocean's 11 and Sergeant's 3, alongside his fellow Rat Pack members. He also reunited with Dean Martin in Texas across the river, while continuing to build an impressive film career with appearances in Who's Minding the Mint, Valley of the Dolls, The Delta Force, Betsy's Wedding, and Mad Dog Time. Television audiences also enjoyed seeing him in programs such as Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, Chico and the Man, The Jacksons' variety show, Murder, She Wrote, and Glory Years. Joey Bishop passed away on October 17, 2007, in Newport Beach, California, at the age of 89 due to multiple organ failure. By the time of his passing, he had spent decades entertaining audiences through comedy, television, and film, earning his place as one of the Rat Pack's most beloved members. The Trials and Tribulations of the Rat Pack. Together, the Rat Pack represented the very definition of show business excellence. Each member possessed unique talents, yet together they created an unforgettable chemistry that dominated stages, casinos, television screens, and movie theaters throughout the 1950s and 1960s. To millions of fans, they appeared inseparable, a group of charismatic entertainers who seemed to embody glamour, friendship, and effortless success. But behind the laughter, sold-out performances, and flashing cameras, life within the Rat Pack was often far more complicated than the public ever realized. Personal conflicts, professional rivalries, changing careers, and private struggles would eventually test even the strongest friendships, proving that fame could never protect them from the challenges waiting behind the curtain. To the public, the Rat Pack looked unstoppable. Whenever Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, and Joey Bishop walked into a Las Vegas casino or appeared together on screen, they projected an image of complete confidence. Their performances felt spontaneous, their jokes effortless, and their friendship seemed unbreakable. Fans believed they were watching five men who genuinely loved every moment they spent together. The reality was far more complicated. At the center of the group stood Frank Sinatra. While he never officially called himself the leader, everyone understood that his influence carried enormous weight. Frank decided who was welcomed into the inner circle, which projects the group pursued, and often whose career received a helping hand. His loyalty was legendary, but so was his temper. If someone earned Sinatra's respect, he would defend them fiercely. But if they lost his trust, they could find themselves pushed out almost overnight. Dean Martin balanced Frank's intensity perfectly. Calm, relaxed, and naturally funny, Dean rarely sought confrontation. He preferred spending time with his family or enjoying a quiet evening rather than getting caught up in Hollywood politics. While Frank thrived on constant activity and social gatherings, Dean was happiest when life remained simple. Those different personalities created a unique chemistry on stage, but they also occasionally led to disagreements behind closed doors. Sammy Davis Jr. faced challenges that none of the other members fully experienced. Despite being one of the most talented entertainers of his generation, he frequently encountered racial discrimination throughout his career. Many hotels and casinos were happy to profit from his performances while refusing to offer him the same treatment given to his white colleagues. Frank Sinatra strongly opposed this inequality and often used his influence to demand that Sammy receive equal accommodations and respect. Their friendship became one of the defining relationships within the Rat Pack and demonstrated that their bond sometimes extended beyond business. Peter Lawford's connection to the group reached beyond Hollywood. Through his marriage to Patricia Kennedy, the sister of future President John F. Kennedy, Peter became the Rat Pack's bridge to one of America's most influential political families. During the 1960 presidential campaign, Sinatra and several members of the Rat Pack actively supported Kennedy, helping organize fundraising events and attracting celebrity attention to the campaign. For a brief period, entertainment and politics became closely intertwined. That relationship, however, would not last. As political pressure increased surrounding Sinatra's reported connections to organized crime figures, President Kennedy's advisors became concerned about appearing too close to the singer. Plans for Kennedy to stay at Sinatra's California home were abruptly canceled in favor of another residence. Peter Lawford was left with the difficult task of delivering the disappointing news to Frank. Sinatra took the decision as a deeply personal betrayal. Although Peter had simply been acting as the messenger, Frank blamed him for the embarrassment. Their once close friendship deteriorated rapidly, and Peter gradually found himself pushed to the edge of the Rat Pack. The fallout became one of the most talked about breakups in Hollywood, proving that even lifelong friendships could collapse under the pressure of fame, politics, and wounded pride. As the 1960s came to an end, the Rat Pack slowly began to drift apart. The entertainment industry was changing, and so were the tastes of audiences. Rock and roll had replaced the big band era. Younger actors were becoming Hollywood's new stars, and the glamorous Las Vegas nightclub scene that had defined the group's success was no longer the center of American entertainment. Each member started following a different path. Frank Sinatra continued performing around the world, proving that his remarkable voice still attracted sold-out crowds. Although he announced several retirements throughout his later career, he always seemed to return to the stage. Recording albums, appearing in concerts, and making occasional film appearances kept him in the spotlight well into his later years. Dean Martin gradually stepped away from the fast-paced lifestyle that had made him famous. After decades of constant touring, television production, and filmmaking, he became increasingly private. The devastating death of his son, Dean Paul Martin, in a military jet crash in 1987 changed him forever. Friends noticed that the once easygoing entertainer became quieter and far less interested in public appearances. Although Frank Sinatra encouraged him to return to performing, Dean never fully regained the enthusiasm that had once defined his career. Sammy Davis Jr. continued entertaining audiences despite facing serious health problems. Even after losing an eye in a devastating automobile accident in 1954, he refused to let adversity slow him down. He remained one of the hardest-working performers in show business, constantly singing, acting, dancing, and touring. His determination inspired millions, but his battle with throat cancer eventually forced him away from the stage he loved so much. Peter Lawford experienced perhaps the most difficult decline of all the Rat Pack members. After his friendship with Sinatra collapsed, many of Hollywood's biggest opportunities disappeared. Although he continued acting in films and television, he never again enjoyed the same level of influence he had during the Rat Pack's golden years. Personal struggles and health problems gradually overshadowed the success he had once achieved. Joey Bishop remained active longer than many expected. His quick wit and effortless humor continued earning him television appearances for decades, and he stayed closely connected to the entertainment industry well into his later years. While the spotlight wasn't as bright as it had been during the early 1960s, Joey remained respected as one of comedy's finest storytellers. By the time the final member of the Rat Pack had passed away, an extraordinary chapter of entertainment history had officially come to an end. Yet decades later, their influence remains impossible to ignore. Their music continues to fill radio stations. Their classic films are still watched around the world, and their effortless style has become a lasting symbol of Hollywood's golden age. Behind the glamour and effortless confidence, life was rarely easy for the men of the Rat Pack. Their fame brought wealth, admiration, and unforgettable careers, but it also exposed them to personal conflicts, heartbreak, prejudice, and pressures that the public often never saw. One of the most unfortunate rifts developed between Frank Sinatra and Joey Bishop. As Joey's career continued to flourish through successful television shows and film roles, he began embracing the lifestyle that came with his growing fame. At one point, he reportedly insisted on traveling by private jet to meet the other members of the Rat Pack. Frank believed Joey was allowing success to change him and warned him not to let fame inflate his ego. Joey didn't appreciate the criticism. Years later, he joked that Frank sometimes acted like a secretary, always trying to organize everyone else's lives. More importantly, Joey grew frustrated with the belief that people viewed him as someone who became famous simply because he joined the Rat Pack, rather than recognizing the years of hard work that had earned him a place alongside the group. Sadly, the friendship between the two men never fully recovered. Sammy Davis Jr. faced challenges far greater than disagreements within the group. Despite becoming one of America's greatest entertainers, he endured relentless racial discrimination throughout much of his career. Even when he was the headline performer at prestigious nightclubs, he was often forced to enter through back entrances and was discouraged or outright forbidden from socializing with white guests after his performances. His marriage to Swedish actress May Britt sparked nationwide controversy during a time when interracial marriages remained illegal in many American states. The backlash was so severe that President John F. Kennedy reportedly chose not to invite Sammy to perform during his inaugural celebrations because of concerns surrounding public reaction. His personal life remained under constant scrutiny. When Sammy later began dating actress Kim Novak, the relationship angered powerful figures, including individuals with organized crime connections. According to numerous accounts, he received terrifying death threats demanding that he end the relationship. Fearing for both of their lives, Sammy eventually walked away. Friends later said the experience left him emotionally devastated and contributed to periods of depression that followed. Peter Lawford also carried burdens hidden from public view. Throughout much of his acting career, he carefully concealed a serious injury that had left his right hand partially disabled. Earlier in life, his family had lost access to much of their wealth after becoming stranded in the United States during the Second World War, forcing him to rebuild his future from scratch. Although he achieved remarkable success in Hollywood, many later recognized him more for his celebrity status and Rat Pack connections than for his impressive acting career. Dean Martin experienced perhaps the most heartbreaking personal tragedy of all. In 1987, his beloved son, Dean Paul Martin, was killed while piloting a military jet during a training mission. The devastating loss changed Dean forever. Friends described him as becoming increasingly withdrawn, rarely appearing in public, and losing much of the joy that had once defined his easygoing personality. Even Frank Sinatra, the man who often appeared fearless and larger than life, battled struggles of his own. Throughout different periods of his life, he suffered from severe depression and reportedly survived multiple suicide attempts. At the same time, he lived under constant public scrutiny, facing years of FBI surveillance and persistent rumors about connections to organized crime. Whether deserved or not, those investigations followed him for decades, adding another layer of pressure to an already extraordinary life. Yet, despite every setback, every controversy, and every personal hardship, the Rat Pack never lost what made them unforgettable. Their music continues to inspire new generations. Their films remain classics of American cinema. Their performances still capture the effortless charisma that made millions of fans fall in love with them in the first place. Together, they defined an era that has never truly been replicated. Now we'd love to hear from you. Which member of the Rat Pack was your favorite, and whose story surprised you the most? Do you think there's a modern-day group of entertainers capable of matching the chemistry, talent, and cultural impact of the Rat Pack, or was their legacy truly one of a kind? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories from Hollywood's golden age. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload, and we'll see you in the next video.